Good afternoon, everybody. Today is the 10th of June, and I've gotten a little bit behind on my episodes for the Lynette Hooker case between everything going on with the streamers, YouTube streamers in Catalina Foothills, and the trial in Texas. I've been kind of busy. So today I'm going to jump into episode 23, Shifting of Tides in the Lynette Hooker case. It is official, which I have given that information out a few days ago, but it is actually official that the Coast Guard has concluded its underwater search in the Sea of Abaco, marking the full transition from a rescue operation to a federal homicide investigation. The specialized dive teams, the military drones, the cadaver dogs searched a newly identified area of interest after the digital forensic teams extracted GPS data from Brian Hooker's phone. That contradicted the timeline he originally gave authorities. With the water search now complete, the federal investigators coordinated a strict custody transfer of the 8-foot dinghy and the couple's 46-foot sailboat, the Soulmate, returning both vessels to the United States for forensic examination. Right now, they are completely stripping down the Soulmate pretty much to try to look at every single area for any kind of evidence. And the dinghy, from my understanding, will probably be going to Quantico. There are some indications of, I guess, markings in the dinghy that they're observing, and they want to do some trace hair samples and a few other things for blood evidence. So that may go to Quantico. It has not been confirmed yet. As the investigators continue to build the case, Lynette's mother, Darlene Hamlet, she has decided to step forward. She gave an emotional national interview to Ashley Banfield, directly challenging Brian's account of the night of April 4th. She questioned why an experienced boater would not immediately dive into the water to save his wife, and revealed deep fractures in the couple's 25-year marriage. Dorothy Hamlet described years of severe physical and emotional abuse that Lynette went through, the repeated separations of their marriage, and a volatile cycle that left her fearing of her daughter's safety. On many occasions, she thought, "Is this the last time I'm going to see her?" She stated, quote unquote, "worried every single day about what Brian may do to her." She is now providing the investigators with text messaging, documenting the history of domestic violence, giving federal authorities a clearer picture of the relationship leading up to Lynette's disappearance. She has mentioned also that a very close friend of Lynette's has turned over all of her text messages and photographs that she has showing actually physical abuse to Lynette from Brian Hooker. Because Brian was released by the Bahamian authorities without charges due to the jurisdictional limits, he remains legally free while the United States government builds its case. True crime media and independent investigators have tracked his movements across the country. It has now been confirmed by several law enforcement agencies and by witness encounters of confirming that he has stopped in California, spent some time in Oregon before he resurfaced recently in Michigan. He was most recently spotted shopping with his daughter at a Sierra store in Grand Rapids. These sightings continue to fuel public frustration as investigators work to assemble the evidence needed for federal prosecution. Many of us, including myself, feel they have enough to bring him in for more questioning, but apparently they either don't feel the same way or they're waiting as they build this case around him. And a possible charge may be filed. Maybe that's what they want to do, is just go for it and just charge him and bring him in. But we will find out in the days to come. All of the family, Lynette's mother, her daughter, and I believe one of her stepdaughters have given DNA. Apparently, Brian doesn't want to comply with anything that they're asking for, and everything he has stated is, speak to my attorney. So he's not being very cooperative. And this is coming from a man that swore that it would take a higher power to get him off of that island and out of the Bahamas, that he would not leave without finding what happened to his wife. And he ended up leaving the very next day after giving his interview to CBS. So in my opinion, and I don't like to usually do this, I think the man is definitely hiding something. I think he's guilty, and I wish to heck they would bring him in at least for some more questioning, because it seems like every piece of information he gave to authorities in the Bahamas and to the U.S. officials in the Bahamas have been debunked. So I am a little bit frustrated that he's living the life of leisure right now, and his wife is obviously probably no longer with us in this world, and it's sad. It is tremendously sad, and I do get angry about situations like this. Anyway, with the search being concluded as far as the actual search and rescue for Lynette, the case is definitely, it's shifting into a slower gear, more methodical phases. The emotional weight has intensified for the family. Lynette's mother's interview has opened a window for many, many questions, and questions about fear, the instability, and people now understanding what Brian is really all about and the control that he had over his wife. Each new sighting of him adds to the tension, reminding the public that justice often moves at a pace that feels painfully disconnected from the urgency of the loss. But the case is not dead by any means. They have a lot of things to still go through. They've got incredible information from the GPS, from his navigation watch he had, and actually from the vessels, the Soulmate and the dinghy. I personally think there's going to be an arrest. I believe that Brian is going to be charged with the death of his wife. And just because a body is not found does not mean that cannot happen. And I will be doing a post on the exact background and understanding of what is needed to prosecute somebody when there is not a body that has been recuperated and you want to charge them for homicide. That is coming. So as the federal authorities continue to piece together the truth, a grieving family remains suspended in uncertainty, waiting for the moment when the evidence speaks clearly and justice finally begins to move. So that concludes episode 23, and I hope you all have a great day, and as always, stay safe.